Okay, 3, 2, 1. Hello, you beautiful creatures, and welcome to another episode of Talk About a Tuesday. I'm your host, Alexandra Zadak, and I am joined by the amazing, the intelligent, the irreplaceable Amanda Holtzman. Amanda, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Now, Amanda is not a performer. She is more of the technical side of theater, so we're really excited to get that perspective today. Plus, your experience with actors and seeing it from your side. Why don't you just introduce yourself, a little bit about yourself.
I'm Amanda. I am primarily a stage manager, but I have some experience acting back in the day, and I like improv. I think it's very cool that people can do that. I can't, but that's cool. I'm excited to be here with my friend Alex.
Yes, Amanda and I have been extremely close friends since the end of freshman year, beginning of sophomore year of college. Pretty much. Yeah, inseparable. So what is it that made you go into theater? What was that initial interest?
Well, as I said, back in the day, I thought, maybe acting was a thing that I would do, and it is not. I was probably in early high school, and I did a theater camp, as most theater kids do at some point in their life. I had a good time, but I wanted to be in every rehearsal, in every meeting, and that wasn't my job. So then the next year I came back, or the next couple years I came back as a camp counselor, and for that specific camp, the counselors were the ASMs. So that's how I was like, oh, I really like keeping lists of things and understanding what's going on with the whole show, rather than thinking in like a tree in the back. So
Tree number 2. I
yeah.
feel so left out. You're good at lists. You're very good at lists. You're very organized.
I love a good list.
So what made you think of stage management as something that, not only the organization part of it and wanting to be a part of it, but what is that thing about stage management that, makes you so excited that you just can't wait to do it on another show?
I really like the rehearsal process because I like to see all of the different departments and different people come together. I think directors are very cool, so I like that I get to watch, something that was on paper, and I don't have the brain of a director, so I don't understand how it's going to change immediately, and then the minute the director comes in, so that's my favorite part.
So the magic of it.
Yeah.
What would you say is a part of theater that you take away with you in your everyday life?
I think the collaboration is a big one, which is another one of my favorite parts. I really like that even if it's, a 2-week situation, you're with those people every day, almost all hours of every day. Mm-hmm. So it becomes this little time capsule family that will probably never happen again, but for that little period of time, everybody is in it together. So yeah, I think the collaboration and being able to kind of know when to lead, but when to be a collaborator too. So I think that is applicable in every aspect of life. You've got to know, okay, I'm going to lead on this, but okay, I'm going to fall in line and work as a team with everybody on this too.
Yeah, knowing that push and pull and when to say something, when to not say something. What's your job? What's not your job? I feel like that's one of the difficult parts is the what's your job, what's not your job, because sometimes you want to help, but and you're not even going to be out of line of it. It's just like, oh, that's not my job. I shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, I think that was a lot of the learning curve in college, especially when I'd have, ASMs that weren't really involved in theater and were just kind of, looking for a little arts credit. It would be really hard because people think, oh, theater, I get to, contribute to all the creative decisions, and you do, but there is, a line of like, oh, what is your job? If you're the stage manager and you don't like a costume, tough.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've
all been there. We've all been there. Where one of them does
it.
grade, and then you're like, ooh, that one, But it's the vision of it.
It's the vision.
It's the vision.
And usually you learn to like understand it because, like I said, you're more the executor of the plans, not the creative of the plans. So I generally trust, like, okay, if that doesn't look how I think it should right now, I'm sure it will make sense to me eventually.
Yeah. I feel like with theater, there's just so many different parts to it, and it's interesting to see when all of those parts come together. So as a stage manager, because that's, you were deep in management, and you've also shadowed some professional shows. So what do you think, seeing it and then also experiencing it, is one of the most challenging but rewarding parts of stage management?
I think how much problem solving you do without, you might have solved 10 problems backstage during a show while the actors are on stage, while everybody is doing their job, and no one will ever really know about it. I mean, I guess sometimes it will go into a performance report or a rehearsal report, so somebody will know about it, but yeah, to have been like in tornado mode, problem solving, it's rewarding to solve that problem, but also, it's really in the shadows. So it, has its pluses and minuses. If you don't mind being in the shadows, then it's a good job for you. So
Yeah.
I think that's one of the challenging parts, because you have a lot of pressure on you to solve those problems and be able to not disrupt the process while solving them. But also it's very rewarding to have the ability to solve those. So
yeah, I would agree. I think that's one of the most fun things about doing technical theater, instead of performing, is that doing the set building, doing the sound design, hanging the lights, getting all of the things that need to happen for the show to happen. I feel like no matter how much I would complain, because I would come home and complain every day. I was like, my back hurts, my shoulder hurts, blah, 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 whatever. Yeah. But it was always so much fun to just see it all come together, and like how you said, that tight-knit family that's there for the show duration comes into play during that time, and you learn to trust people so much when you're set building with them, literally with your life. So yeah, it's fun, and no one's gonna know that you're the one that painted that little squiggle in the corner, but that squiggle is your best friend now.
Yeah, and I think trust is a really big thing too, especially like larger scale shows. Maybe the stakes aren't as high for this at smaller scale shows, but for really big shows, stage managers are really, their primary job is to keep people safe, because you're calling massive set pieces to come in and out, and so if you mess up, there is an actual disaster.
Yeah.
Obviously smaller scale, we're still there to keep people safe, but it's not as dire of a situation. So yeah, you really have to trust each other, trust that stage manager is going to call out that light rack or whatever it is at the right time, so that you can come running onto the stage without running into it. So Yeah, I think that's a big one. Trust is a big one.
Yeah, definitely. I find it funny because in every one of these interviews, it's always trust and collaboration. And it's like, that's, of course it is, and good it is, because it needs to be the forefront of everyone's mind. I mean, in any workspace, you know. But coming into factor in theater, you literally can't get anything done by yourself.
Yeah.
So I think it's good that it's coming from across the board, from every perspective, even from the non-theater people. So it's fun. It's fun to see all of that coming together.
Yeah, even when you're in a leadership position, even at those moments where you're leading and not collaborating, you wouldn't have anything to lead if it wasn't still collaborative. So it's all about everybody working together. Nobody can, like, really, no, there is no small part. Like, that's not a cliche for no reason. It's just the truth. Like, everybody is important, whether you were the intern getting coffee for everybody, like, they needed the coffee.
Yeah.
They needed, can't function without the coffee. So you are an essential part.
Yeah. Can't tell you how many coffee runs I've gone on.
As have I.
While you were in New York, how was the vibe in theater there over the Florida vibe?
So I think a lot of it, I was very nervous that it would be different, or, you know, that I was like trained for Florida theater and then I would go to New York and it would be completely different. But it was really the same. Like, it's kind of interesting how it all functions the same. I think, like, if you think of more traditional jobs, every office functions kind of differently. But for theater, they function a little bit differently, but the relationships and the way everybody kind of flows together is pretty much the same. Like, it's, and I would like to think, I've found that the people there are very friendly.
Mm-hmm.
They're very, you know, welcoming. They're excited to be there. They're very passionate people.
They're very theater people. They're very
Yeah. So everybody, whether it's here or there, you're going to have theater people in the room with you in rehearsals and performances. So yeah, I really enjoyed my time there. Everybody I met was really great. So yeah, I think I would say if anybody has that same concern that I had, that, oh, but you know, everybody talks about like New York, maybe it's so different there. It's probably not. Like, if you know how to do theater, you know how to do theater here, there, everywhere, on a train in the rain.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Seuss. I find it funny because that's the question that I get from a lot of students, is the younger ones, they always think that it's like a different life. It's a different world. And yes, New York itself is a different world. But the process is as if they were doing it here, you know. I mean, it's just auditioning and trying and going out and making connections like you normally would. But one of my favorite questions to ask, now, stage managers sometimes have to run warm-ups for the actors. So what is your favorite warm-up to go through?
Okay, so I have two answers.
Okay.
I have one that's my favorite warm-up to like watch people do, or my favorite game to watch everybody play, and then one that's actually like my favorite warm-up, I guess.
Okay.
So I really like this one. I don't know if it has a specific name. I guess it's like walking through the space. You know, everybody makes fun of that.
Okay, yeah.
I really like when people walk the space, you know, having all the actors walk the space and to ask them questions about their character while they're walking. I really like when I've seen directors do that, or when they've left me to kind of let them walk the space. Laying on the ground is a great one for me to run, have everyone lay on the ground. And then I just watch them laying on the ground. That one is always fun. But yeah, if it's like a game day, you know, like then I like the game Party. I don't know if you know this game Party.
Which one is it? A lot of them have different names, but the same meaning.
It's like you have two people walk into a party and they're given two different like characters or positions, like maybe one person's given like director, they pick out director out of a hat, or the director tells them they're a director, and then the other person gets artist or something, and they have to show up at the party, and the host, whoever's picked as the host, has to try to guess who they are.
Oh, okay. Party Corks.
There it is. Yeah, so I like that one. I think that's a fun one. Everybody always gets a laugh and is in a good mood after that one.
Nice. Yeah, those are fun. Those are fun ones. I like the walking around one because we had to do that for Betty's. And during Betty's summer vacation, we were having trouble with the flow of lines. So Dan had us walking around and do it double speed. So just as fast as you could to get out your lines so that our
I was gonna say that actually, that I like it. I've only a handful of directors that I've worked with have made the actors go like super speed through all of their lines, but I find that it really
helps so much.
Yeah.
We tried to do it with Hamlet. We were just like all there and we were like, okay, let's just run. Let's just go through them because Mark had, he wasn't there for one rehearsal because he was in a class, and then he was coming back and we're like, we have to have these lines down. Yeah, that's a good one. If I, Miss Amanda, saw you walking down the street and I was like, who's that girl? I don't know anything about her. What's something I can't tell just by looking at you? Like a fun fact or
a fun fact.
Hidden talent? I don't know. Are you a magician?
Oh boy, I am not a magician. I am a veterinary assistant. So that's a fun fact. I went to a vet program in high school. I am not a vet, but I am a vet assistant. So that's a fun fact. Also, I've broken a lot of bones. So that's another fun fact. So maybe if you like look really close at me, you'll be like, her arm looks a little crooked. Her foot is a little weird. Yeah. Those are my fun facts.
Now, is there anything lastly that you would like to express about the theater world? Anything that you feel people should know, or anything you feel people should be aware of?
I think people should know that you should be nice to your stage manager, and that if you're a stage manager, you should be nice to everyone. You know, a lot of especially student stage managers think that taking the kind of like harsh approach is the way to go. And I think that being nice to everybody is always the way to go. But you know, it's a mutual niceness. Everybody has got to be nice because, as we said, it's very collaborative. We're a little family for a period of time. So yeah, that's what I'd say. And I would also say to go vote. Because the theater people also need you to vote.
Yes.
Those are my parting words of wisdom.
Nice.
Be nice and go vote.
Yes, go vote. Well, thank you so much for joining us today on the gloriousness of the Talk About It Tuesdays. Yeah. Anytime, Amanda, anytime. Everything involving Amanda is going to be linked down below. Don't forget to vote. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is Improv is offering online classes for improvisation, team building, writing, and improv for life. So go to www.thisisimprov.com. I want you to check out the description down below for all of our previous videos. We're almost at 200 videos strong. And we also have some websites there to educate yourselves on, and some people who might need a little extra help at this time. So if you know someone who might need a little extra help, why don't you email us at info@thisisimprov.com, and we can add them to our list below. Any organizations or anything like that that you think. This is Improv also has a podcast called This is Legends of Yesterday, where we talk about histories, mysteries, and ghost stories of Florida. So if you have a ghost story, if you have something weird, if you have a fun fact of history, just something, quirky about Florida that you think we should know about, you can email us again at info@thisisimprov.com. You can either record yourself saying it or just type it. You can stay anonymous if you want, but you can hear it on our podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. I hope you have a beautiful, glorious day, you beautiful creature. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much, Amanda Holtzman, and vote. So yeah, bye.
Bye.